Welcome back to episode 35 of 5 Random Airports and Airfields. Hey, this week we're going to go back to Vietnam and look at 5 more airfields that would have existed and supported the war during the Vietnam conflict. So, as this goes, I was poking around on flightsim.com one day and I did not realize that there was such a wide array of scenery files all done for the Vietnam region. And all of them are, or at least the ones that I downloaded. I went through and I downloaded all of the files, but they all reflect bases that would have existed during the war. So, what I have done here is I've picked 5 of them, all of which they are special forces camps, training camps, whatnot. And I decided to download the files and put them in Flight Simulator, and we're going to take a look at them. So let's just jump right in, shall we? So first up is going to be Dong Ba Thin. This is Victor David Boy Tom. It is 3,239 feet of runway, and it was built in 1964. This base also housed the U.S. 5th Special Forces Group. Something else of interest here was that this was originally known as Flanders Field. Now, I will provide you with the links to download all of these in the description section of this video. There isn't a whole lot to look at here, but what is interesting is that this was known as... They had a heliport right across the street, and the heliport's actually modeled here as part of the runway. So that's kind of interesting. But as far as detail-wise, there isn't a lot to see here, just the outbuildings. And being that this is still a functioning airport, it's all modernized now. So with that being said, we're just going to go ahead and jump on to the next one because the other ones are a little more interesting. But this would have been a Special Forces camp at one time. You can see in the surrounding areas where, I mean, if you look at the terrain in the area where there could have been structures or, it's hard to say how much of this was base and how much of it wasn't. Alright, so next up is going to be Victor George Ida Union. This is going to be VGIU. This is Gia Vuk Special Forces Camp. This is 3,028 feet of runway. This is actually the oldest SF camp in the First Corps. This was originally a French camp in the Indochina War. So this particular base has a lot of history to it. First thing you'll notice is that our runway is attached to a road. But the recreation of the camp here is really, really, really good. And you're close to a lot of mountainous terrain too. So, what a location this had to have been. Hats off to whoever did this scenery. Good job. the runway is of pretty good size, so you could get quite a bit into this little airstrip. Alright, well, that is going to be it for uh, Giavuk SF Camp, Special Forces Camp. Next up is going to be Pole Klang Airfield. This would have also been a Special Forces camp during the Vietnam conflict. The IACO code is Victor Paul King Lincoln, and it is 2,934 feet of runway. This base was actually built in 1966 and operated until 1972, though it does look like it has been modernized, or the runway portion of it, and it is still in use. The base itself was housed the 5th Special Forces Detachment A241 group, and also housed the Vietnamese Rangers. And this is also, this particular airfield is famous for the Battle of Con Tum. So you actually have the base here. Beautiful region. Alright, well, that's going to be it for VPKL. I'm assuming this must be Contum over here. Forgive me if I am mispronouncing any of this. Alright, well, let's go ahead and go on to the next one. What an interesting region. Okay, so next up is going to be VGIL. This will be Victor George Ida Lincoln. This is Buon Bring Special Forces Camp. It is 1,435 feet of runway, and it is one of the smallest runways out of this group of airfields that we are looking at today. This airfield was built in 1964. It was considered one of the largest CIDG camps during the war. And interestingly enough, it was the site of a rebellion against the SVN government, and then which ultimately ended with the help of U.S. advisors to get through that rebellion. So that's kind of interesting. And as you can see, it does cover a good deal of real estate here. That is one small runway. Alright, well that's going to be it for VGIL. And lastly, we're going to be looking at Tan Ray Special Forces Camp. This will be Victor Robert Adam Ida. And this will be 2,156 feet of runway. This particular airfield or Special Forces Camp existed between 1963 and 69. The base was established to recruit, train, organize, and equip local tribes to fight the PAVN forces. Another unique location. But interesting defensive position here. Alright, so we're going to go for a quick little flight. Alright, so what we're going to do is just go ahead and fly around VGIU. I was going to do a flight, but I was going to fly one location to another location, but it's going to take an hour, just about an hour, no matter which one I pick. So we're going to just go ahead and just fly around we're going to fly around VGIU. This was probably my favorite because of the surrounding terrain anyways. So we're in the Caribou here. We're going to wait for that car to quit driving down our runway. Alright, here we go. Now, what I'm assuming is this airfield probably no longer exists and that this is all road. And that's why you have flight simulator cars driving up the runway. Or maybe they use it for both, I don't know. But I don't believe this location is still an airport or airfield. But I could be wrong. This kind of puts you deep into the mountains here of Vietnam.
Ho Chi Minh Center Charlie Foxtrot Uniform Yankee Mike is type 2 miles southwest of Victor Golf India Uniform 1,100 feet. Request clearance to transition Charlie airspace.
Charlie Foxtrot Uniform Yankee Mike Ho Chi Minh Center. Squawk 2676.
Squawk 2676 Uniform Yankee Mike.
Uniform Yankee Mike radar contact 3 miles southwest of Victor Golf India Uniform 1,500 feet. Clear to the Charlie airspace. Maintain on navigation.
Cleared through the Charlie airspace Uniform Yankee Mike.
There's our airstrip down there. VGIU. Giavuk Special Forces Camp. Well, I think we're about there. I hope you've enjoyed this series. I hope you've enjoyed this video. And I do look forward to doing more, but I am going to take a break from the 5 aircraft. I can't even say it. I am going to take a break from the 5 random airports and airfields videos for a while. So maybe we'll call that Season 2 next year. Or if I just decide to start doing it again, I will. But I think I'm going to concentrate on some other things right now. And maybe just do some random flying videos. So I hope you've enjoyed this. If I've inspired you to go take a look at any one of these airports, then I've done my job. And I thank you very, very much. And have a wonderful, wonderful day. You know there's going to be a car on that runway about the time I'm landing. Oh yeah, there. Yep. Wouldn't you know it? And a bus. Well, it's a good thing they're invisible. Alright, well, that is going to do it for this video. We'll definitely see you in the next one.